It's finally summer, and are you thinking about visiting Denver, Colorado, or maybe you already live here and just looking for something fun to do with you and your family? Well, that's exactly what this video is for. Let's get started. Hi there, Christy Lee here, and I am a local real estate agent in the state of Colorado, but more importantly, I am a native of Colorado. If you're new to my channel, all of my videos are catered to my most favorite places to visit, to live, to hang out, anything like that. So if that's something that interests you, please click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. All right, so we finally reached summer, right? It's June of 2022, and this video is going to be teaching you, or at least showing you, the top 9 things that I think you should consider either taking your family to, or maybe your kids or your friends, whatever. But some of my most favorite places that I personally take my son, and I just wanted to relay that on to you. All right, so make sure you do stay to the very last one because that one is my personal favorite. But let's just start off. Number 1 is going to be Waterworld, and Waterworld is located in Federal Heights, Thornton area, and it's been around forever and ever. I think like 30 years because I definitely remember going there as a kid myself. It is grown so much since even I was a kid, but they do have many, and offhand I don't remember, acres, like a lot of acres of water slides and the lazy river and wave pools. Some of my most favorite rides there is going to be like the Indiana Jones one. That's what I always used to call it. And then they have a dinosaur one, so like a Jurassic Park one. But they've added so much stuff to it. Those are even actually some of the older ones, but they're so cool, and it's really for all ages. So if you have kiddos that are pretty small, they do have like a little kids area that you could take your kids there. But then if you have, kiddos in their teens or 20s, or if you have family just visiting, there's literally something for everyone when you go there. You can bring your own food there. You can purchase food there too. And I believe they actually just started allowing alcohol actually as well. So just make a whole day of it. It is a little bit pricey. I do know that. So look into prices before you go. But I believe there's going to be family packs, and you could add pizza and all that stuff. But high on my list, I love Waterworld. So check it out. All right, number 2 on my list of things you should definitely go check out is going to be Elitch Gardens. And that's kind of like Waterworld because it does have its own water park as well. But it is, an amusement park too. So Elitch Gardens used to be very historic. It used to be in a completely different area than it is right now. Then it changed to Six Flags, and I believe they've changed it back to Elitch Gardens now. So it is really, really cool. You could buy season passes if you want to go for the whole season. They do have haunted houses there too. They have music there. But it is something that you have awesome, it's an amusement park, obviously. We've all been to amusement parks, but it is really cool because it has a water park too. And what I love about Elitch is that it is in the middle of downtown. So it's the heart of downtown. So once you leave Elitch's, you could go really anywhere else. So you could walk downtown and check out the city and see what that's all about. It's right next to Ballerina, formerly known Pepsi Center. And so, heck, you could go check out, a basketball or a hockey game. So there's just so many things you could actually do within that specific area. Right after you leave the park, you could go do some of those stuff as well. It's really cool. All right, so number 3 on my list is going to be mainly more catered to the smaller children. So maybe kids from about, 7 or 8 and younger, but it is the Children's Museum that is located in the middle of downtown area, and it's really, really cool. I love bringing my son there because it's all hands-on experiences. So if you have not been to a children's museum where you currently live, definitely check out Denver's because it's you go in there, you get to play on a fire truck, you get to play with bubbles, you get to climb, you get to play, with airplanes. They teach all of these type of things, like a lot of science and hands-on. So I highly recommend going there, spending a couple hours there because your kids will absolutely love it. I know there is a height restriction to the whole playground outside, which is, I mean, you can see it from I-25. It's super, super cool. My son is not big enough to play out there, so I honestly don't know what that's all about, but I see kids up there all the time. So I highly recommend going to the Denver Children's Museum and spending a few hours there. They probably will get you at the end because there's a really cool gift shop too, so I'm sure your kiddos will find something. If they're anything like mine, they will absolutely find something there to buy. All right, and so to kind of piggyback on like the firefighter kind of stuff from the Children's Museum, Denver actually does have a firefighter museum of its own in the heart of Denver. So it's actually a very historic museum because it has very old artifacts and, you know, even replicas, things like that from the older firefighters back in the day. So, I mean, it's dating back to early 1900s where they have all of this really cool stuff. Kids could get on the, you know, the fire trucks and play with this, you know, some of the stuff there. You will walk around, you can learn a lot about, you know, being a firefighter or even how it was back in the day. It is a really cool area. It's a really cool experience if your kids, especially if your kids like that kind of stuff, if they like firefighters and police and all of that kind of stuff, head over there. I think they would really enjoy it. Another location that's huge on my list is the Denver Zoo, as well as the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo out in Colorado Springs. So both of them are awesome. It's just going to depend on what part of Colorado you're in at that time. Hell, maybe check them both out. I don't know. The Denver Zoo is one that I go to more often just because it's closer, obviously, and it's so fun. It really is. I love taking my son there. They have like a little train that you could ride around the park with. There's a carousel. You could go, you know, pet the stingrays. It is really cool. And actually the last time we were actually there in the fall, like all of the animals were out. It was really cool. And it was all decorated for Halloween. Christmas time, they have the Zoo of Lights, which is great. And then the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, which is down in Colorado Springs, is actually one of the best zoos in the nation. It's ranked one of the best zoos in the nation. It's absolutely gorgeous. I will say the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is a lot of uphill walking, so do bring your walking shoes if you plan on going to that particular zoo. But either way, you can't go wrong with either one of them. Just it's going to depend on what area of Colorado you're at when you want to visit. But definitely check out one or the other. Your kids will absolutely love it. It's just a lot of fun. Your family, you know, and like I said, a lot of the animals, well, almost all of them were out when I was out there last time. So you don't have to really worry about them not being out unless obviously it's like really, really cold when you visit. But we're talking about a summer video, so hopefully they'll all be out unless it's like extremely hot. So, you know, you never know. If you're looking for an indoor experience, definitely head over to the Denver Aquarium. So the Denver Aquarium is really cool. It's like a big area, you know, a big place that you can see all the fish and the sharks, and they actually have like mermaids swimming around. You could pet the stingrays. There was actually a tiger, ironically, when I went the last time. One thing I love about the Denver Aquarium, though, is the restaurant. So they actually have a restaurant inside, and it's surrounded by the actual aquarium. So you can see the fish and the sharks and all of that stuff, and that's actually where you see the mermaids swim around too. So that's really cool. I will say it's very touristy. The restaurant specifically is, so plan on paying a pretty penny if you're planning on visiting or eating there, just because they're probably going to, you know, upsell you on some crazy drink, or, you know, that your kid has to have or whatever. I mean, I'm guilty of it, of paying for it. So it is a lot of fun. I highly recommend going. The whole experience is just a lot of fun. It kind of feels like you're like in Disney World or Sea World or something like that when you visit, especially when you eat there, and then, you know, take the tour around. I guarantee you, you're really gonna love it. All right, number 7 is the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And my kiddo loves this one because of the Dinosaur Museum. He loves seeing all the fossils and all of that stuff. So that's gonna be there year round. And obviously all the other exhibits as far as like the Indian stuff, that's year round. The animal stuff, that's year round too. But they have rotating exhibits that come through too. So, you know, if you're ever in town with one of the rotating ones, a lot of them are really, really cool. You have like the Aztecs, I believe it was called the Body of Life. That one was cool. So there's just a lot of really cool things that come through there. The Egyptian one, that one was a cool one too. So just head over there. If your kids like to, well, one, if it's really hot outside, get in there with the AC. But if your kids like dinosaurs, if they like fossils, there's a lot of rocks, and then the Native American, you know, exhibits. It's really, really cool. It's a great day to spend the day. And then right afterwards, you could head out to City Park and have lunch out there. It's just a really gorgeous area out and about right there. And it's actually right next to the Denver Zoo too. So, I mean, if you have the time, you could pretty much hit both of them up at the exact same time. All right, so the last two are gonna be out towards Morrison. The first one is gonna be Dinosaur Ridge. So Dinosaur Ridge is a really cool place that you could see dinosaur fossils. You could take a little hike. You could go see kind of where the dinosaurs all live. There's a little museum out there. There's little workshops that they do with the kiddos out there as well. So it is a really cool place to take your kids if you want to be outside and experience nature, but also learn a little bit about dinosaurs, the fossils, where they came from. There's like puzzles and things like that. And then the very last one, my most favorite thing to do in Colorado in the summertime is Red Rocks. You have to visit Red Rocks regardless of age. You could be a little kiddo or you could be 90. It doesn't matter. Red Rocks is amazing. So Red Rocks is essentially known for their concerts. Well, they started doing concerts there, you know, like 30 years ago. But I mean, you could do hikes there. There's like yoga classes there. They do movies on the rocks there. They actually have church services for Easter there. So there's a lot of things that happen at Red Rocks just because it is so gorgeous. I will say though, if you are planning on visiting Red Rocks, bring your hiking shoes because those stairs are pretty steep. Even if you're going to a concert, plan to walk up those stairs from your parking spot just because it is a lot of walking when you go out there, but it is definitely worth it. If you have kids, bring them out there, maybe see a movie on the rocks, which is really cool. They have older movies that go out there, like Top Gun's been out there, you know, Breakfast and Tiffany's, they actually did have that one out there. And then they have like cartoons and stuff like that out there too. Dirty Dancing's out there. Sandlot was in there. That one was a big one. So head out there, watch the movie at actual Red Rocks. It's a really, really cool place to experience if you have not been there. All right, so those are my top 9 things that I think you should consider doing during this summer, especially if you have kids or you have family visiting. There's so much more. I could go on and on and on about all the cool things that you could absolutely do in Colorado, in Denver specifically. But I just randomly chose the ones that I personally like. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me anytime. I am here to help you in any way possible. Remember to click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. And to the next video, take care.